Hello and welcome to the Needy Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. Hello, Henny. Hello, Ben. A bike ride when I am not used to riding again, followed by a FIR session. I don't know what that is. I am pooped. Hello, Henny. Sounds like good exercise. Yes, it does. Well, it didn't used to be, but I have been so inactive for so long, it kicked my butt. You know, that's why I've been liking those somatic exercises. They don't make me sore. But of course, now I'm sore having to run after that donkey so much. Yesterday, I made my ankles sore and the whole nine, running in house shoes and boots. And anyway, getting active is good for the body as well as for the mind, but I bet it does hurt. Don't overdo. Was looking for my glasses while I was wearing them. Holy crap, do that all the time. Another thing I had to make myself do was 15 minutes of sunlight. That's a good thing. I'm better, but my lungs hurt. Oh, emphysema hurts. Ouch, Henny. I hate that. Hi, Rolling Stone. Good to see you. Vitamin D helps, but nothing feels as good as having the sun shine on your face. How do you feel? Oh, yeah, that's kind of what mine feel like, sort of. Anyway, Miss Sunrise Dawn, hello, Zelda. Anybody want to come in and have a meeting? There's the link. Let's see. Rolling Stone. Welcome, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Zelda. Good to see you too, Rolling Stone. Good to see ya. Well, I could play a video about sobriety, Sober Saturdays. I haven't been necessarily sticking to a format lately, but you know, I figured that's kind of an option, showing a sobriety video. Timothy Ward, he's one of my favorites. Haven't done Peter Mon in a while, but anyway, let's see what Timothy Ward has to say. I haven't actually seen this one, but I do have.
What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim, back with another video. Just out in nature as I love to be, just doing a little exploring. But I found this nice little kind of beachy area. Figured I would stop, film a video. And today's video is going to be a sobriety video. And in this video, I want to share like my #1 tip for getting sober. People ask me a lot, for advice on sobriety, any tips. This is probably my #1 tip on getting sober. Here goes. Keep quitting until you quit. Keep quitting until you quit. That's my #1 tip. Now, I know some of you are like, what are you talking about, Tim? Like, if I quit, I don't need to keep quitting till I quit because I've already quit. Like, what are you talking about? Let me break it down. So, one of the terms I really hate in the whole sobriety space is like cold turkey. I really dislike that term. There's a few terms I don't like, but cold turkey is one I really dislike because it gives the idea that people just one day were like, I'm not going to drink again, and they never drink again.
Yeah, that works.
Drink again, and didn't.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know who are sober now, most of the people I know who've gotten sober.
Hey, Plant Freak.
Hello. Oh, we're watching a video.
Well, we don't have to be. I just thought, no one in here, and I had it queued up just in case we wanted to do. I love Tim's energy too. He's he's got a lot of wisdom.
I agree. I say we definitely do his video, but I was just like, oh, a video. How are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I'm a little sore today from all the running I had to do after the donkey yesterday.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, he I have this one little wether that I keep with the girls because when he was with the boys, they are so rough. He was literally disassociating, this little weather goat. He was my
Oh,
little sweetie pie. I could literally hold him like a baby, kind of upright, sitting on my lap, and he would fall off to sleep as I'd rock him. I mean,
yes.
he's just the sweetest little thing. And the donkey just singled him out and started chasing him around to wear him down and get him down on the ground and bite on him. He didn't get him down, he didn't wear him down,
Oh,
but that's the goal, because that's what he was doing to the little girl calf when
yeah.
she was over there. And so I had to take him out of there, poor thing, and then I put him in with the boys last night. I'm sorry I did. So he's
Mm,
kind of by himself today, and he only gets to hang out with the girls when they're close by. I've got him in that one little pen area.
okay.
So I'm gonna have to
Oh,
reconfigure everything to get all the animals that, don't give a rip about what what the donkey does. He can only single them out if he can get them to give a rip and start running.
yep. Yep. Oh, goodness. Poor things.
I
Darn Jet.
know. I know.
My goodness. He's
What
just
is
being a donkey.
that? Well,
Without saying the other word.
I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit here. How was your
Yeah.
sharing the
It was
video?
really nice just to be able to like get out of here for a little bit. It was really, really nice. Just the change of scenery.
Yeah.
So it makes me very excited. I was getting really worried about having my own place because it'll be the first time that I've ever lived alone this time.
Really? Oh, wow.
Mandrew and I moved in together when I was 15.
Wow.
And then Mandrew and I separated. It was a very short period of time where I was alone and then went into the relationship with my ex.
Yeah.
So this will be the first time that I'm alone. And I was starting to get a little bit nervous about it, but now I'm getting a little bit more excited because, conversation was great because it was an individual who's been through some things themselves. And it's like, you just need time and you need to understand what to let go of and what's a battle and what's a battle worth fighting. And that was very, very nice to be able to hear that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because some of the emotions I'm having doesn't feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. Because it's like, well, you know what? I understood that I was going to deal with a lot of emotion, but I have to process it.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't, which I didn't process it really after Mandrew. And now I know I need to really process it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Seventh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I was getting very scared to get my own place, but then kind of thinking, well, you know what? Having my own place means that I can have the freedom.
Yeah.
And I understand that I have freedom here and I'm getting my power back here, but it's being surrounded by people at all times.
Yes.
At
Yeah.
all times.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, okay, I hope that this realization doesn't make, waiting seem like it's too long now, from now
Yeah.
until I get a place.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
But it was an enjoyable evening just to be able to be in the city too and like get food delivered to me. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I don't have to go somewhere? Holy crap. Holy crap. Like
Oh,
McDonald's
that
first
makes
thing in the
sense that they
morning.
couldn't have delivery at a place like that, huh?
Yeah, and even the town that I'm in, it's larger than the town that I'm going back to, but there's still no Uber or Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that here.
Mm.
So even if I wanted to do DoorDash, I couldn't because it doesn't
Yeah.
exist here.
Okay.
But to be like where I was a suburb basically of Montreal.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I can get whatever I want. And like, of course, I go for McDonald's. Like, I don't want to move and I just want McDonald's. But it was really nice to be able to
I need more.
have conversation where it's not constantly with another survivor.
Yeah. Right
because
on.
now I didn't have to take on somebody else's story, because that's getting harder and harder to not feel bad for other people.
Yeah.
Because now I've
Yeah.
worked through some of my things, right? So now it's easier for me to take on hearing other people's stories. So I'll ask, you know,
Okay.
are you okay? You know, that kind of stuff. But it'll be nice to not have to try and interact and just be able to wake up and be like, hey, I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to say anything for 2 hours.
You know, you're kind of bombarded with all the people in the same situation, so you can never get a mental break from it.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And my situation is complicated enough that it's, you know, I don't need to be taking on all of the other stress. So like last week I hid in my room a lot. One of the workers was like, is Stasia still here? And they're like, oh yeah, she's just downstairs. She's, you know, just chilling out. And it's like, yeah, because I'm getting overwhelmed with the amount that's going on around me. And it's not a bad overwhelm. Like it's not setting me back,
Okay.
but I'm recognizing it and I'm taking my space when I need it.
Right on.
So that's kind of nice. But to be able to like not have to share a kitchen, to be able to not have to share a bath, it will be very, very nice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that now. Whereas it was a little bit of like, it was great news to hear mid-March, beginning of April, I'll have a place, you know? It was great news to hear that, but then it also brought fear almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, this is the first time in my whole entire life I will be living alone. Like just me, I'm the adult.
Wow.
So, yeah. Right?
That's kind of intense.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be like, well, how do I not feel lonely? Or how do I, you know, and I was then like, I'm thinking too far ahead. I'm thinking 10 steps ahead. I need to be doing one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that one step at a time, it's going to come to the next step and then the next step. And I just have to look at it that way instead of thinking of the big picture constantly.
Would you consider that your mind tends to gear toward the bigger picture first, or are you caught up in the details more?
I'm at the bigger picture first, and then I have to start writing it down. And then I get caught in the details. That's when I need to make a list.
Okay.
Because then the details become overwhelming. And then it's like, well, which detail do I deal with first? And then which one has more priority than the other? So I write down the big picture, because then I'm just like, okay, what do I need to do to get to the big picture? And then I break it down, and then I have to prioritize it. I end up with like 3 different lists. I make lists of lists. But I'm definitely the person who sees the big picture first.
Yeah.
And that I think that's what overwhelms me immediately.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, I need to get this and I need to do this. And it's okay, no, that's too many things.
Yeah, that sounds like either, I don't know if it would be a more of a neurodivergent type of thing where you just seeing the whole thing is it's just this big huge elephant to have to eat, you know, and you can't find where to put take the first bite.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to break it down helps a lot. Sometimes it takes me a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how big the thing is that I'm thinking about. Like it took me 2 or 3 days to completely fathom that you're going to be living alone. Because I will have Rowan, like he'll be at his dad's for a week, he'll be at my house for a week. So it'll be back and forth.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, so half the month, you know, it's me time. What is me time without people around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. When does do you guys do school semesters or trimesters?
Semesters. So
Okay.
Rowan starts March break on Monday.
Okay.
So that is technically like your halfway point.
Okay. Do you get him for part of that?
I'll be getting him next Friday, but a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So normally it would be at like 4 o'clock in the after 5 o'clock that I would get him, but because he's off, we're going to shoot for a little bit earlier. I'll get confirmation on Monday about that.
Okay.
I was hoping to have him for a little bit more of the March break, but I'm also not going to push with child services.
Okay.
I need to, I'm jumping through the hoops, and what happens if I end up getting a bunch of callbacks next week?
Okay.
I don't want Rowan to have to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
Right? So
Right.
maybe it's safer for him to not have to deal with that, and then I just make sure that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because I can't stop the government from calling. I can't stop them from calling when they have information for me. And then I don't want him to have to manage dealing with, I don't even think it causes him too much anxiety or stress, but I don't want to take that time away from him either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Be able to have privacy. What's privacy right now?
Yeah. Making what you want and eat and win, and you'll read, listen to music, dance, and feel comfortable with the beautiful you. Yes, Henny.
Yes, thank you, Henny. Yeah,
You're gonna
it'll be nice.
learn a lot. You're gonna learn a whole lot.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna, I think once I have this space from here, I'm gonna have a little bit more bandwidth to actually learn French.
Okay.
So no matter what, I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna be here longer than I thought, and it's gonna be easier if I learn.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of pushing everybody to speak English with me.
Well, but I mean, it is what it is. You didn't grow up with it. So
yeah.
Plant, you may end up loving your alone time. I do. And if you get lonely, get outside, call friends, plant stuff. Yeah, Zelda.
Yeah, I can't wait to have my plants back.
Right on.
Once I have my little collection again, I'll go through it and show everybody. But I had a master gardener teach me over COVID how to care for succulents and aeroids and tropicals, and I learned a lot.
Your plants are surviving?
Probably not all of them, which isn't a big deal to me. The ones that survive, and the ones that didn't survive, I know how to get them cheaply.
Okay.
So it just means them traveling, but so be it. You basically have to go from greenhouse to greenhouse, and when you know that they're getting a shipment in, go in that day, first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So that way I'm getting first pick, essentially, because some plants that I want that weren't a part of my collection before, if I go through a secondhand dealer, essentially, so somebody has purchased the plant at the nursery, but then has chopped that plant up into a bunch of different plants, it ends up costing more money as the buyer.
Oh.
So I'd rather go to the nursery, pick something out, because some of the plants that I want are $250 a plant if I go that other route. So, but that's when you get into variegation, of course they get more expensive. It's when the plant has white and green. So, of course they get more expensive.
Yeah. Are you talking about when you say white and green, do you mean like variegated type thing plants? Okay.
Yes. So there's the Monstera deliciosa, the very large leaf. It's like this big. The leaf is like this big. And it has fenestrations in it, so little cuts through it naturally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then they have two. There's the variegated Monstera deliciosa, and then the Thai constellation. And the Thai constellation, even at a nursery, goes for $100 a plant.
And it's what constellation?
Thai constellation, Monstera deliciosa. And it's they're huge leaves, absolutely massive. But that plant is my absolute favorite, and I want one of each variety.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had 250 different species when we were in Ontario of plants. That's where Plant Freak came from. Because I was
have to give some away, or when you moved?
I had to sell 200 of them moving, and I only moved 50 of them with me because the windows at that last house in Ontario, it was a big old farmhouse. You got windows everywhere, and massive windows because the ceilings are 16 feet high. So you've got massive windows, and I had put barn board shelves in each window. So my windows were full of plants. Like those were my curtains, was my plants.
Wow.
So I didn't need any window coverings. One, I was in the country. Nobody's really looking in my windows, and because it's all farmland around me, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, I had plants in every single window.
Zelda says, I'm jealous, plant. Wish I had a green thumb.
I truly believe everybody can have one. Bamboo sticks in the soil. That is the best water meter or moisture meter you can have. You can pay $100 for a moisture meter from like Amazon.
Yeah.
But if you just put like one of those bamboo skewers that you would use for like a barbecue beef skewer,
right,
stick that in the soil.
Okay.
And then you just take that skewer out when you're checking if the plant needs water. Succulents, that skewer should be fully dry, bone dry, before you water the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's called, in the plant world, it's called butt chugging. So you put the plant in, like it's got a little hole. Make sure that your succulents have a little hole in the bottom of the pot.
Yeah.
And then you put the pot in a cup of water and it soaks up from the bottom. So butt chugging. And then if it's like a tropical plant, you want the first 2 inches of the soil dry. So the bottom of your skewer will still be moist, but the 2 inches underneath that soil will be bone dry. Then it's time to water it. So
every
honestly,
plant seems to have a slightly different need from the other.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And there's apps to teach you all of it. Absolutely all of it.
Wow.
Yes, just bamboo sticks that you can get from the dollar store, packs of like 100 for like $1.
For like barbecue skewers type?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Butt checking, Ben, not butt
chugging.
No,
butt chugging. Butt chugging.
Oh, butt chugging?
I thought it was butt chugging. No, because it's taking the water up from the bottom, right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, you need to like... Yeah, it sounds like something completely different.
So Zelda wants to know how you got into planting plants and planting and all that good stuff.
Indoor plants was COVID. I was bored. I was super bored. And then I found a little at-home business, and she did succulents only. So I got into succulents by getting to know that lady, and she started a shop through COVID. And I went to her shop every week to help her out. We became friends.
Oh, wow.
But like outdoor gardening is something that my grandmother instilled in me very, very young. So we produced all of our fruits and vegetables every summer out of my grandmother's garden. Nice. So plants have kind of been a thing since I was young.
Yeah. Indoor
plants was a COVID thing. I had like 2 indoor plants before COVID. 2. Yeah. And then all of a sudden 250 by, 2021.
I have 2 plants. I have a snake plant and I have a fake plant.
Perfect. Yes. I love the snake plants. I love because all you have to do is snip like at the top point of it off. You're talking about the big thick leaves, right?
They're tall, tall and thick. Yeah.
If you just snip like the first 2 inches off of one of those leaves and then put that in water, in about 1 inch of water, and make sure it's always got that inch of water, it'll grow roots.
Okay. Oh.
It does not take much to propagate a snake plant.
Like what are they called? The heart-shaped leaf one. What that roots real easily.
I'm trying to think.
And it grows viney. It can be bushy, but it can grow into a vine.
The one that I'm thinking of is the Hoya Carey, but that's more of a succulent.
No, it's a really common plant with a heart-shaped leaf.
A heart-shaped leaf.
Dadgummit. If I weren't trying to think of it, I could think of it.
Of course. Philodendron?
Philodendron. I think that's
right. Is it. Yes, philodendrons. Oh my God, yes. They're amazing. The philodendron Brazil is my favorite. Lime green and dark green. It is my favorite. But yeah, which philodendron and pothos. Those 2 are very, very easy to take care of for tropicals.
What is pothos? Is it a tropical?
It is a tropical as well, a tropical aroid. So is the philodendrons. Philodendrons have a thinner vine or like stem between the leaves, and
Okay.
the pothos has a thicker, juicier one. So if you clip a pothos, it's going to leak a little bit of water. When you clip a philodendron, it's maybe like a bead of water.
Okay.
Not very much at all. But they're
Okay.
both heart-shaped. They're both heart-shaped.
My mom was a huge gardener, Tampa Bee Man says.
I love that so
I
much.
used to be more of a gardener before I got animals.
I feel like they just eat them on you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, even my poor trees that I've planted. The boy goats got out one time and ate my trees. Just scraped all the bark off my catalpa.
Oh no. Oh no.
Luckily the trunk has not elongated yet.
Okay.
So it's got
Is there any way to cover it for a little bit? Will it regenerate the bark? I don't know enough about trees.
No, once the bark is gone, it's gone. All those scars you see on trees, it's from that. But I mean,
Okay.
they took the bark off all the way around, but it's the branches did that too. They couldn't get to the
Okay.
trunk because it's still too short.
Okay. Okay.
So there's new shoots coming up since that happened. So I'm gonna have to take those old branches off and let the new shoots come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And that'll
I don't
probably
really,
take some work too.
yeah, and I don't think that I really should try pruning those old branches off until the new ones kind of get a little bit more established.
When would you start budding where you are?
April, May, we probably have some trees that are starting to bud out now because we've had so many warm days. I mean, we have had days in the 80s, literally,
Wow.
and many days in the 70s. So everything's green is starting to spring forth.
Okay. Yeah, I would give it about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love lanais. Oh,
Oh,
oh my
nice.
goodness. It's like a 10-foot tall lanai. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Is that a
Cactus.
is that a
It's a type
cactus?
of cactus.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, there's hundreds of varieties of cactus as well, but I don't know what it is about succulents specifically, which would also have cactus in it. I just am fascinated by the fact that they need so little water to survive.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah.
little water.
Yeah.
And then the only time that I water my succulents is when I see the leaves starting to get a little bit less plump. I'm like, oh, you need water now because they can feed off of themselves for a little bit.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
okay, now you need water.
Yeah. So they probably I've always had trouble with succulents. I always end up overwatering them.
Over loving them. Yep.
Yeah. So do you water the soil or do you just spray them or what?
Get like a baking dish of water.
Okay.
And then make sure your succulent has a little hole in the bottom of it. And succulents do better in terracotta pots, so where you're
Okay.
able to fully breathe, like not a
Okay.
glazed pot, just a flat terracotta pot. And then you put it in the water, and it'll soak up what it needs. Leave it there
Okay.
for about an hour. It'll soak up what it needs, and that's it. That's all.
Okay.
There's also air plants where you don't put them in soil at all.
Right.
They're
I've
just
seen those. Yeah.
right. I love
Yeah.
those things. And then when they bloom, they're going to start. Air plants have a life cycle. So when they're a baby, they don't have any flowers. When they are more geriatric, they'll flower and then they'll give a baby. So then that original one will die off, but you'll get another one. But some of their lifespan can be 10 to 12 years.
Okay.
They're fascinating to me. And they're fuzzy. Some of them are fuzzy.
If you touch the fuzz, will it stick to you?
No, but that fuzz is how they soak up the water. I've had a couple that have no fuzz on it, but for some reason I can't keep those ones alive. Oh yeah, if you need to know anything about plants, please message me.
Yeah. Hello, Rip Curl Readiness.
Everybody was out of water.
Okay. Thank
Not
you.
now.
Everybody was out of water, he said.
Oh no.
Luckily, these guys over here have the pond. It's not such as it is. It doesn't hold water very well, but it'll hold it for a little while. And my goats don't seem to be attracted to the pond. I think the pond scares in the back of the pasture scares them a little bit. It could be
Okay.
a little too mucky.
Yeah. Tampa Bay man, if I'm on the lifeboat, I'm on the lifeboat Facebook page. I'm not too sure if you are, but you can find me there, Stasia DeSantos. And I will even put, if you want me to, I'll even put up a post tonight being like, Tampa Bay man, it's me. If not, just message Carol too, and she's more than welcome to pass on my information because I want to see that cactus collection.
Yes.
Very, very
That sounds
badly.
amazing. Yeah.
I got into learning how to use artificial light. When I first got into plants, it was just natural light I was using. But succulents, with the Canadian light cycle, certain areas in the US, it would be a bit better. But with the Canadian light cycle, there's not enough daylight for succulents to grow properly. They'll become elongated and it'll look like they're stretching out. So I learned how to use artificial light, the white, red, and purple lights, to be able to give them enough light that they stay tiny and all scrunched together.
Would that work with LED bulbs?
It can, but not as well. I did try that at first.
Incandescence then?
Yeah, well, they are LED light bars that I have, but you need the 3 different colors on it. You need the white, the red, and the blue. It looks purple. The light looks purple when it's on, but it's got the 3 different colors.
Yeah.
And then the light bars that I have a 6, 8, and 12 hour timer so that you can just set your light cycle however you want it.
Okay.
And usually keep everything on a 12-hour timer. Just makes it easier.
They're all dead. They're still out there. You know, we have an aloe vera that I thought was dead, and
you can't kill those things.
Yeah, it surprised us and came back to life. It's ugly as sin, but
they'll give babies from the soil too if you snip off the top. So where it keeps growing out of the top, if you just break off the first 1 or 2 leaves, all of a sudden babies will start growing out of the bottom of the soil. That's how a lot of succulents give extra plants. Because every plant you can make another plant from. Every single plant. It just depends on where you cut it and what their life cycle is. Aloe vera will come out of the soil. A lot of succulents just take a leaf, put it on top of soil, and it'll grow a whole other plant.
Like lay it down or stick it in there?
No, just lay it on top of the soil. So there's the most common type of succulent is called an echeveria. And if you just take one of those leaves, you don't even have to water it because it's got enough water in that leaf to just put it on top of a soil. And within 2-3 weeks, you'll see some roots. Within another 2-3 weeks, you'll have a little tiny baby plant. Aww. So about 6 weeks, and then you'll end up with a whole extra plant.
What kind of water do they need while they're trying to get established?
The water from that leaf. That's it.
Oh.
That's it. I do not water my succulent propagations. If I'm using a leaf from echeveria, what are the other ones? There's one called the bear paw plant. It literally looks like a tiny little fuzzy bear paw. And anything that is full of water, those little juicy looking succulents, you don't need to water it at all until all of a sudden you got a little baby plant. And you're like, okay, the leaf is starting to dry up. Now I need to water it.
Okay.
But it'll take all of its water from that leaf to create the other plant.
Interesting.
Succulents are like weeds. Like you can't kill them unless you overlove them.
I can kill them pretty readily.
But you're overloving them. You're not killing them technically. You're trying to overlove it. That's what I call it anyways. And when I go to a nursery, I call it rescuing a plant. Oh. So because to me, it's like going to the pound and getting an animal. I'm going to the nursery and I'm rescuing a plant and I'm bringing it home because I'm going to love it. And they're my botanical babies.
Aw.
Yes. I'm strange with plants. I can't wait to get them back. That's going to be one really exciting thing.
Right on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Oh, yeah, cats.
Hmm?
Cats. Somebody had said I'd given up on indoor plants. Who is it? Miss Sunrise Dawn. I've given up on indoor plants. My cats would chew them, and I'm always worried that it's going to hurt them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a cat that ate all my plants. Didn't matter what it was.
Yes.
Just ate it.
Yes. Mother of thousands is like party confetti for plants. They grow little babies across the ends of the leaves, and then that is going to fall into the bottom of the pot or another plant, and then all of a sudden you've got like thousands of mother of thousands.
Wow.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Okay.
And if you're in like a tropical climate, it can fall in between like patio stones, and all of a sudden you've got like a 2-foot tall mother of thousands. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is that a succulent as well?
That is a succulent as well. It's also there's mother of thousands and mother of millions. I can never remember which one is which, but one of them is a nice big leaf that looks like an alligator mouth, and it's all striped like a zebra underneath. It's a stunning plant, but also a curse. Exactly as Tampa Bee Man said, it's a curse at the same time.
It was good to see you, Rolling Stone.
Yes. Oh, enjoy those pork chops.
Yes, enjoy those.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh
I can't eat them for me because I can't eat them. I can't digest them.
No? Well, is it because you've gone vegetarian, or was it even before?
It was before even, because I never really ate a lot of meat to begin with.
Okay.
And it would just sit there in my stomach. I could feel it hours later, just sitting there in my stomach.
Interesting. Pork in general, I have a hard time digesting. Beef, I'm starting to have a very hard time digesting.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken and fish seem to be my go-to.
Yeah.
They're easier for me to digest.
Yeah. Yeah. And now there's a tick-borne disease called alpha-gal that makes it to where you cannot eat anything that is any mammal meat of any kind.
Really? So you're tick as in like the little tiny things that get on your animals and on you, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my word.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it's Lyme's disease is the one that I know that you can get from ticks, right?
There's Lyme's disease. There's another one that's tick-borne. But what happens is they'll bite into like a cow or something, some kind of mammal, and the protein, something about the way the protein gets converted after it bites the animal and then bites the human.
Yeah.
Turns it into a disease called alpha-gal and makes it to where you have a severe reaction to any mammal meat you eat.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to look into this because the area that I'm going back to is horrible. I mean, horrible for ticks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's everywhere right now, but there's a lot of deer in that town. So no matter where I go, if I go for a walk on like the groomed paths, at the end of it, I still have 3-4 ticks on my socks. So I started putting tape backwards around my socks. That way it could take them, right?
Very effective. Yeah.
I have not found one on me, and I'm lucky. I am very, very lucky.
Yeah.
But I'm just very concerned about my children and any potential future pets getting some sort of disease just from a tick bite.
Yep. Yeah, that's what the alpha-gal is. It's my husband's best friend from high school got it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
And he might have had a weakened immune system to it because of diverticulitis before that.
Oh, that's a nasty one. And if you're not eating the proper diet, you could literally poison yourself. literally poison yourself. My dad
he
has
almost
it.
did. He almost did. Just
I
they've
know when
not
my
really,
dad goes super quiet, there's an issue, and then he's not eating, the proper
yeah.
diet. And by the time that he comes out of the woodwork, it's like, oh, this happened. It's like, okay, can you please eat properly on the diet? Thank you. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
As much as we have a strained relationship, I'm not ready to lose him yet.
Okay. Right on.
I'm not ready to face the world without either parent yet.
Yeah.
That's
get that.
the selfish mindset, but that's the mindset I have.
I get that. Yeah. Something about having to go through life orphaned. There is something to that. My favorite artist, Ren, was misdiagnosed with all kinds of things for 10 years and wound up having Lyme disease. He's in the UK. Not known for that. Oh, I wonder if he traveled somewhere and got it.
Very possibly.
Yes, ticks do affect animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll use them as hosts, but in Canada, anyways, Lyme's disease is the one that's most common for dogs and cats to get. You can treat it with medication, but that medication gets very, very expensive. And even with the medication, their lifespan is shortened quite significantly.
Yeah.
Quite significantly.
Yeah.
So like one of my old neighbors had told me about they have a thing for Newfoundlanders. The big black dogs, the big like the Newfoundlander dogs. Yeah.
Whoa.
So they've had 2 Newfoundlanders ever since their kids were young, and they're retired now. And one they had lost, he was only 2 years old, and he had gotten bitten by a tick, got Lyme's disease at 6 months old. They had treated it for the next year and a half, but sadly the pup had passed away at 2.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And he was stunted in growth. Everything was very small. Like he was still large. Apparently he was 80 pounds, but these dogs, from what I understand, can get up to like 140, 160 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge. They're huge animals. Yeah. They're house horses. Screw the house hippo. There's house horses.
Miss Sunrise Dawn, we have problems with ticks in the back of my backyard. There's a creek and lots of trees back there. Thankfully, our dog lot is in the front of the backyard. Yeah, that's why I have chickens and guineas.
Because it'll eat them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good to know.
And don't ever, if you can, if I can avoid hitting a possum in the road, I will, because they can eat their weight in ticks.
I didn't know this. There's a possum friend in the backyard here that I've seen like 3 or 4 times now.
I like possums. I think they're cute as heck.
They're so adorable. And they're tiny little hands.
Yeah.
They look like little human hands with like vampire claws. I think they're the cutest thing. Oh my goodness.
They are. They're adorable to me. We had one in our garden shed when we lived at the house in town, and it was fat, and its fur was like, I mean, whatever it was finding to eat, it was eating well, because it had just a gorgeous coat on it and fat, and the healthiest possum I'd ever seen.
Oh my goodness. House horses eating from their mouth holes. Yes. Makes me and Jen together, and that's what happens. Oh my goodness. So possum made me think of fuzzy animals, and I had watched a movie last night. It's a newer Adam Sandler movie called Spaceman. And it's more of I wouldn't even call it a psychological thriller, but it definitely gets you thinking. So he's an astronaut who goes on a solo mission to the other side of Jupiter, and it takes 6 months for him to get to where he's going. Him and his wife are having marital issues, And he ends up working through all of his issues and becoming a better person on this journey, but with a imaginary big fuzzy spider that's talking to him. Like the cutest, biggest, fuzziest spider. And I fell in love with this spider, and I need a big stuffed animal like him now. Like, I need it. But my suggestion is, if you guys have Netflix, definitely check it out. I know it's in Netflix for Canada, but
Okay, and it's called Spaceman?
yep. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's not a comedy. I know that how I just described it, it sounds like it could be a comedy, and I know I put Adam Sandler in that sentence as well. It is not a comedy. It's really
Okay.
well done. Really
Right
well
on.
done.
Miss Sunrise Dawn, check with your city, or check with your city, like maybe like the Chamber of Commerce. They might know about the ordinances, or they might know
Yeah.
who to talk to about the ordinances. So a lot of municipalities, you can have chickens, just not roosters, because of how much noise they make in the mornings, and it irritates people.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have hens, like a certain amount in a lot of towns.
I know that
You
even
might
bigger
be
cities in
surprised.
Canada you can as well. So like Toronto, Montreal, you can definitely still have chickens, but no roosters.
Yeah.
No roosters.
And sometimes there's rules about, how they're to be kept and things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like
Chickens
living out here. I let mine just kind of go all over.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And guineas,
Yeah.
they're fowl, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're
Very
smaller, aren't
strange.
they?
No, they're big. Their bodies are big, and they have this little bitty head.
Cute.
And these-
Okay.
and they are these strangest looking things. If you ever see one up close, they are very strange looking.
Okay, so I need to now look at a guinea. I've heard of them, but I've never looked at what they look like.
Right.
Yeah.
I miss Rebecca, Cosmic, and Steve too.
Yes.
Rebecca was here a day or two ago, but I guess she's really having a hard time with some changes from her work.
Yeah, they changed her schedule, I think she had said. That's difficult. Oh, goodness. Have you talked to Steve?
Not since he came on that time.
Okay.
This past week.
I was gonna go get a laptop tomorrow.
I did. I talked to him a little bit before that, a day or two before that, I feel like, on the phone.
Yeah.
It was my 30th anniversary sobriety.
So about a week before. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then didn't he come on this past week?
Yes.
Yeah. Takes almost a year and a half to get to Jupiter. Just saying.
Yeah, the movie, I'm not saying that it's, got all the space stuff right, because it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't have all the space stuff right. But it's a fun story, and maybe it's fun for me because it's showing somebody processing. And it's like, oh, okay, now I want to envision this really big, fuzzy, happy spider around me who's like talks to me super calmly and like has this like Zen tone at all times.
So it's like a spacefaring version of Charlotte's Web, maybe. I don't know.
Kinda, but put Adam Sandler in it too. It's not even funny. It's like I expected to be laughing the whole movie because it's Adam Sandler. You know what I mean? But it's more of a drama.
He proved himself as a dramatic actor. It was a movie about, I forget the name of it, but it was with Don Cheadle. And it was in I want to say the 90s or early 2000s. And he was he was the only survivor of his family from 9/11. They were on a plane.
That's right.
And he went completely lost it.
Yeah.
And it was a good movie, and he was really good in it.
I'm impressed at the range of his acting skills.
I am too.
I am, because everybody thought, he's just one of those stand-up comedians because he did the CDs first, and then he started doing the Happy Gilmore movies, like the Happy Gilmore production, right? Yeah. And of course those movies are hilarious, but I quite appreciate seeing a different side of him. I do.
Yeah, I do too. We can't talk about Misha because she's here.
Oh,
Happy 30-year anniversary. I'm so proud and in awe of you. Thank you, Henny. I appreciate that. You know, I did relapse on the spending bit. I've known that I've had that issue. I even went to some meetings about it when I was still in California.
Okay.
They weren't particularly helpful.
Was
The
it
meetings.
specifically for spending? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I forget, it was an anonymous group, you know, like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it was for specifically for that.
Yeah.
That issue. And yeah, I just didn't have anything that I could sink my teeth into as far as hearing anything that would be helpful. But I did try it. I did, you know.
You tried. You
I
tried.
did.
And now
But
what? How long has it been? How long has it been since you've had a spending spree?
Since December.
So we're almost at 3 months.
You know, and now what I'm kind of doing is when I need something, I tell my husband that I need it and I order it.
So I had all of my income tax stuff come in, and normally by now all of my money would be gone. But this is, again, the first time I'm living on my own, and I'm the only source of income for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went and I bought myself a couple pairs of jeans today. It felt really, really nice. It was only like $40 for 2 pairs of jeans too. And I'm like, all right. And I've decided I'm going to go out tomorrow to go and try and figure out a laptop.
Okay.
Because I have enough to be able to do that and still have money left over, but not get like $1,000 laptop. Like that is not something I'm going to do. Even like $650 is like pushing it to me. So
I'm doing this on a Chromebook, and this one, and it was a couple $100.
Okay, so you are running off of a Chromebook.
I am.
Huh. I almost picked one up today, and I was like, I don't know if it's enough to actually stream. But if you're streaming off of a Chromebook, it definitely has to be.
I'm totally, and I haven't had any issues with Restream on it.
Okay.
You know, we had that one weird thing today, but I don't think that had anything to do with Chromebook.
That was a Restream thing.
Yeah.
That was a Restream thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it'll just be easier, and then it's at least half of my setup for when I do get the apartment, because then all I have to do at that point is get a microphone.
That's right.
So,
and they do make ones that you can just plug directly into the computer.
Oh.
This one here has I have to have an audio interface for it.
Yes.
They're not, you know, you can get them expensive, I'm sure, but they're not very expensive. And so this one has to have a audio interface, and it has this XLR.
Okay. Yes.
But they make them with some of them have both XLR capability for your audio interface, or you can have it just be a C cable to plug in, or a USB. You know, some microphones have both. You can do both, either or.
Yes. Yes. So I'm gonna start taking a look into that, because I'd like to have this set up for when I get the apartment, set up like a nice wall behind me, and you know, all that stuff.
Right on.
All that stuff.
I used to go to a store, put stuff into it that I liked, walk around the store, and come to my senses and put it all back. I've done that, Zelda. I sure have.
I usually do that online. Well, Kristen just said it. I usually do it online.
Yeah.
And I fill up the cart, and then I go back to the cart and like, oh, yeah, no, I don't actually need that. I really don't need that. Okay.
Well, you guys, it says Seventh informs us that Tommy is doing a premiere. We can keep hanging out here, or if you guys want to go and watch Tommy, put a 2 if you want to keep hanging out here in the meeting, a 3 if you're good and would rather go over and see Tommy, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
She
I'm just
said,
gonna take a look. I hadn't even noticed that he was gonna be going. I think 7th had said it earlier. I saw it, and then my brain
"Yeah, I've
forgot.
seen it."
My brain forgot. And I think it's just gonna be easier to try and stream, and like I won't have the black bars on either side of me anymore if I have a laptop. It'd be kind of nice.
Yeah,
That would be kind of nice.
yeah. You can do the horizontal screen with the phone, but then you can't see the chat very well.
And that's half of my fun is watching the chat.
That's right.
So as much as I'm sure that the black bars annoy people, I'm sorry, but I like seeing the chat.
Once you see the total, you got to put stuff back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and really and truly, anytime I leave the house, there's money that's going to be spent.
Well, especially
So,
when you're in the country. In my experience, like I was 35 minutes away from town at our house in Ontario. So the only reason why you left the house and you went to town was to spend money.
mm-hmm.
And then I would throw extra things into the cart because I'm like, oh, it's going to be like another week before I'm even in town. I should get it now.
Right.
Then I end up spending $150 more than I should have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When I stream, I just use my laptop with the built-in microphone and camera. Yeah. And you can do that. I just don't like the way that it sounds. It kind of has an echoey sound that gets on my nerves. Probably doesn't bother anybody else. It just bothers me.
You also have a musician of a husband, so you understand audio.
Yeah, somewhat.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. So yeah, 2 if you guys want to hang out here, 2 or 3 either way. It says Misha. Kim is a 3. Seventh Son is a 3.
what did we say 3 was? We are staying here?
2 if you want to have a meeting here still and hang out.
Okay.
3 if you feel you're
Check
good.
out
You've had
Tommy.
a meeting and would like to go check out Tommy.
He's at that Pepper Fest this weekend, isn't he? Is that what it is? Is
I
that
don't
what the stream
know.
is?
I don't know. I have some catching up to do on
My phone, the other one is still loading, so just give me a second here.
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of watch time lately, what with all the goings on with my animals and all the changes I've had to implement. And by the time I get in from the barn from all that, I'm just toast.
Yeah, it is the Pepper Fest. Him and Johnny were going away this weekend to some pepper festival. That's as much as I remember from that stream. My brain is like, I haven't been able to keep up with the lifeboat chat at all. It's like I go in and I say hello all, say hi to the people that I know, and then I just like put my head down and start crocheting and listening.
I don't think he's on yet, says Zelda. Lots of capsation sweats going on their way today. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I think it'll be fun.
But yeah, you know, I've been processing a lot of that since I kind of came to my senses myself going, you know, and of course my credit card helped me sober up real quick, you know.
When you have no other option, that's usually when it works, right?
Which is ridiculous.
It sucks.
You know, the real test of my sobriety when it comes to spending will be, you know, when the credit cards are paid off and there's a little bit of, you know, finances to work with, you know, that don't have to go all into that.
Yeah.
That will be the real test.
Yeah. I'm proud to say that minus cigarettes, that's the only thing that I have been spending regularly on. But I'm down to like, it's cheaper to buy 2 packs at a time. I don't know if that's how it is in the States, but where I am, it's cheaper to buy 2 packs at a time, like by a good $5. Oh, that $5 is, you know, it goes towards something else.
That's right.
So I buy 2 packs at a time, and now I'm at the point where it's 6 days between going to the store. So I'm almost stretching it out to a week. And at first it was 4 days. So slowly I'm weaning back, and even unintentionally, which is wonderful.
Right.
Which is wonderful.
That is good. That's the best way when you're not obsessing over it.
Yeah, and I think that like my case management worker for La Virage, which is the recovery management, where I'm taking the recovery management program, they had said to me,
Okay.
they're like 6 months to a year is where I want to see you quitting. I do not want to see you quitting any time before 6 months getting sober. And I'm like, okay, for my first sobriety date or my last sobriety date, because my first one's going to be 5 months, my other one's going to be 4 months. So where? Like, you need to tell me here.
Did
So
they?
they're saying from my last sobriety date. So a
Okay.
couple more months, and then we'll see where I'm at in a couple of months. And that's,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to quit cold turkey. I know that. Nicotine and caffeine are the addictions that have stuck with me the longest and most consistent.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tampa Bay Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are going to be the hardest as I have a coffee in my hand. A big coffee too.
Misha, I can't if I'm thinking about it when I'm running low, that is when I use more. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your defenses are down. You're paying attention, and yeah, makes total sense.
I
Maybe
can't
I gotta
remember
do
where I had read it or heard it, but as an individual who uses nicotine, as
Mhm.
soon as you get down to the last 5 to 3 cigarettes, now
Mhm.
you start panicking internally because it's like, wait, when am I going to get those? And until you get the next couple of packs, or for me, the next couple of packs, or until you get the next round of them, essentially,
Yeah.
that panic doesn't go away. So what I started doing is I start purchasing them when I have half a pack left. That way I
Okay.
don't get into this panic mode because I
Mm.
have felt that panic mode.
Yeah.
And vaping, it just doesn't work for me. I
Really?
vape more than I would smoke cigarettes.
Mm.
So one little vape that should last me, 5 to 7 days, it'll last me like 3 days.
Okay. Maybe as your hands get happier with your plants, you may smoke less.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nicotine is hard.
Mm,
I had as much difficulty anytime that I tried to quit smoking as I did with drinking.
yeah.
I'm still vaping. Harm reduction. Yeah.
Yeah. I had switched to vaping
Mhm.
for a good 5 years, but I still needed the cigarettes in between. And it's for me, it's the burn. I need to feel like I'm having the nicotine. I need to
Mm.
feel the burn at the back of my throat to feel like I'm actually having it. With a vape, I can't get that burn.
Okay.
And the
Wow.
inhale is different, everything is different.
Yeah.
It's just, and maybe that's a neurodivergent thing. I don't know, but the fact that it's different and not what I'm used to. And I
Mhm.
mean, for 5 years I did it.
Yeah.
No, it just doesn't work for me. I
Okay.
still need the cigarettes in between, which is, I know, not the greatest, but I figure this is the best way to do it. I spend less smoking cigarettes right now, so that's
When I
better.
don't get sleep, I spend and eat more. Anytime your
Yeah.
defenses are down in any way, like, just you're emotionally more vulnerable, those are dangerous times. Or, you can even be vulnerable when things are just going so great that you're just so happy and you don't think and you're just going along, and next thing you know. So I
Yeah.
mean, addiction is just a butt kicker all the way around.
Yeah. Whether you're depressed or whether you're happy, it can come back and bite you in the butt,
Yeah.
no matter
Tommy's
what.
already done. Oh, wow.
Okay.
You know, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a habit thing, it's addictive personality thing. I wish I understood it more. I think they're starting to understand it more.
Hmm.
Mhm. Pot
I'm hoping that they're starting to understand it more because I would like to have more knowledge. Thank you.
Mhm.
I really would. Life in general is a butt kicker. Yes, it is, Tampa Bay Man.
That makes that makes so much sense. I feel the same way about throat burn, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Life
was
in general,
vaping.
butt kicker. Yes, it is, Tampa B man.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
When I started vaping, I started smoking more marijuana because I needed the throat burn. And so I just switched it to something else. So I don't think I was ever fully, and I don't know if you can be addicted to marijuana, but I know that I needed that throat burn, and I was smoking every hour towards the end of that relationship. It was every hour I was smoking 5 to 7 grams a day.
Woo.
Yeah.
It's proven that smoking and heroin is the toughest. That and drinking withdrawal will kill you. Yeah. Yeah, Kim.
Yeah. I'm debating the patch again now that I know that you're not supposed to wear it overnight, and that was my mistake the first time around.
Ew. Well, what happens if you wear it overnight?
I had horrific nightmares. Horrific nightmares. Yeah. Like, people I cared about were dying in horrible, horrible ways. So I was just like, nope, can't do this. And I just stopped using it. And I think it was Cosmic who's like, but do you smoke at night? Are you supposed to be wearing the patch at night? I'm like, good point. Good point. So
I see Tommy scheduled for upcoming. I'm so confused. Me too. Oh, my grandma died at 53. That's younger than I am now. My mom at 52. I'm 57, and vape. Denial is real. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a vivid dream thing with
I
the
think
nicotine
so.
patch?
I think so. For me, it was nightmares. For Mandrew had quit smoking through using the patch, and he still doesn't smoke. And he had vivid dreams as well. He had very vivid dreams as well. But for me, they were full on nightmares.
Ooh.
Like, I would wake up in cold sweats. It was bad. It was bad.
I knew someone who would attack people. If I can get it's moving faster than I can get it right. I knew someone who would attack people in their dreams. Dang. Oh my gosh, though, at one time I was wearing the patch plus smoking a pack a day.
Whoa.
Misha.
Now that's
Sunrise Dawn.
a lot of nicotine.
I quit smoking for 9 years. Then I went through a divorce. Now, even though it's been almost 9 years, I'm remarried. I can't seem to quit for good.
Nicotine's one of those ones that's my brain's already gone dead. But as somebody had mentioned earlier, it's difficult.
So I'm not attempting to advertise for anybody and have no affiliation with them, but I used Quit Smart. Comes with a little hypnosis relaxation track, a fake cigarette for the oral fixation, and it's continued, and a guide for how to use the lozenge/patches. Nicotine patch gave me wicked dreams.
Okay, so I'm not the only one then.
Yeah. Doing the pre-recorded because the live stream won't work at the casino. Yeah, maybe those if it's a metal siding or metal roof, that can really that can interfere with the Wi-Fi signal and all that good stuff.
I think it was just a quick little premiere then, because I did see it live or premiere, and then now it's off.
Okay. It was scary helpful for me, but I also happened to be moving when I quit too. So the change of scenery really helped me cement the changes. Good deal, Kristen.
Yeah. Change of scenery, change of habit, because now you're in a new place. You have to go to a different grocery store. You have to go to a different pharmacy. You have to go to different everything.
I am nothing if not extreme. Yeah.
That is so true, Misha.
Right there. Yeah.
So true. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Nicotine is probably going to be the harder one for me to quit. I think caffeine I can let go of. I just need to figure out a different energy source. But I really think that that's exercise, because I'm trying to push myself. Instead of asking my friend to pick me up to go to the mall today, because when I got back from the city, somebody was like, "Hey, you want to go have a coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." So instead of asking them to pick me up, I walked over. It's only 25 minutes away. And then I walked back, and the energy that I got just from that was incredible. So I think that will be like, I have to get up in the morning and I have to go for a walk.
Okay.
try and get that into my
How'd that
routine, try
work?
and get that into my habit.
And you might want, you might not want to smoke as much if you're getting the
I'm hoping, like when I was bodybuilding,
yeah.
I was smoking more. I was at the gym for 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. Now I had no children in my care at this point. Okay. And Wee Man was not around. He was not even a
Okay.
figment of my imagination yet. So my ex was on a course and he was gone for 6 months. So I started going to the gym. 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night was about a 3-month progression. But then once I was doing that, it was I needed a cigarette as soon as I started the gym, a cigarette as soon as I was out of the gym. And then it was like every hour in between because I was bored. I did so much when I was at the gym. And then I was just like, I was beyond bored in between.
Yeah. Kim says you have to find the assistance that works for you. Wellbutrin or patch or hypnosis, what works for you, and run with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to try hypnosis. I really, really do.
Right on.
Because I've tried, I'm concerned about the Wellbutrin in me.
Okay.
I'm terrified of the depressive side effects.
Really?
I'm terrified of it. So
have you taken it before?
I hadn't taken it. Mandrew had taken it.
Because I take that for my depression. It's one of the things I take.
Interesting. Because Wellbutrin, I think it was Wellbutrin. I'll have to double check with Mandrew actually. But there was a medication that a pill he was taking to quit smoking, and it was before the patch. And he had the worst depression I had ever seen him have, even after taking this.
Dang.
So I'm terrified of that aspect of screwing around with my brain chemistry, especially after 5 years of trying to find a bipolar medication for a bipolar I don't have.
Yeah. If you're not depressed, it may not be the way to go.
Chantix was the one, sorry.
And Chantix is basically Wellbutrin.
Okay, so Chantix is the one that he was taking. Now that I see the name, but it's basically the same thing.
I basically changed my whole life. At the same time, I'm not sure I would have been able to make it stick otherwise. Honestly, I still have cravings sometimes. Yeah, Kristen.
I hadn't
with people, places, and things, with everything. Yeah. Yeah. It's always something that'll trick us. There's always something to trick us. Barbara, I get it. My dad smoked for about 15 years. I quit 38 years ago and is now about to start treatments for cancer for the second time, yet I still smoke. That's what makes you so interesting. Yoga. Okay, Kim. Dawn, the biggest thing I can control is vaping. And apparently my demise. No,
I can't do the whole vaping thing. I vape far too much, and then when I am stressed out, the little disposable ones that you throw out when you're done, I'll pull on those a little bit too hard. And then all of a sudden the coil burns in it. It's not empty of juice, but now I can't use the vape because it tastes disgusting because I've burnt the coil.
Ew, and that can't be good.
No, and it hurts your lungs. And I tried pushing through a couple of them that I had burnt the coil. Oh no, that's just not something I can do.
Yeah, I used to go to the gym in college and then have a cigarette right after on the bench outside the gym. Kristen, you're not alone.
That is exactly what I was doing, but out the back of my car.
Misha, do you guys know that Bradley and I made a day of it once? We went for one part of OKC to another thrift shopping. By the time we were finished, we had walked 18 miles and had a crap ton of bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of walking.
Chantix and Wellbutrin, yeah, they are a little different. I thought Chantix was bupropion. I thought that's what that was.
Not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, Chantix is the one because Wellbutrin I've heard of, but it didn't sound quite right. But Chantix, I'll double check with Mandrew, but one of those two
People
he
do
took.
have a hard time with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's real. Yeah. I know a lot of people who have had acupuncture work for one or two treatments.
that's another thing that I thought of. Like going to Chinatown here in Montreal, or like heading back to Ontario and going to Toronto, because I do know a few places that do the quitting smoking
Yeah.
acupuncture in Toronto. I don't know if it's here as well, but I had a
Yeah.
couple of friends who had success with it.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, but I do have more people that I know who had success with hypnosis though. So, but to me,
Okay.
both of them are options. I just don't want to be taking a medication if possible.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
ideal for me, but it doesn't mean it's going to be that way either. And I can recognize
Right.
that.
I didn't realize, but my girls still talk about the days I was on that stuff. I thought I was doing much better. They apparently disagreed. Yeah, Misha.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kristen, I take it as well. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's all good. I can't remember exactly what I was saying. It's okay. It wasn't
I'm
important.
sorry.
I saw Jewel and I'm like, yeah, those aren't allowed in Canada anymore. That's for sure. I don't know if they're still allowed in the States, but they're not allowed in Canada anymore.
Really?
They've even taken away flavored vapes here.
Okay.
So the only flavors you can get is different flavors of tobacco in your vape.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
order stuff online from the States, but you cannot go
Okay.
to a gas station or a vape shop and easily get a flavored vape anymore. At least Quebec.
Wow.
I don't know about Ontario and all the other provinces, but Quebec is always a lot harder on those rules too. Even gummies here, they're not gummies. They're just THC infused little bits of food. Dried
Okay.
food.
Yeah.
They're doing
Steak
it.
in the ear.
Missa,
What?
what the reason why they are taking away the flavors is because kids. They're trying to stop kids from starting to vape and get
Yeah,
addicted.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
and all of the
sense.
fun flavors and all of the fun colors, they are attracted to that, right? Whereas even the little Juul modules that started at least started vaping for me, those look like
Yeah.
USB drives. And for a long time, parents had no idea what these things were. So they're just
Yeah.
trying to stop kids. And even on the THC side, with like in Ontario, you can get gummies. In Quebec, you can't. But Quebec is harder on all of these laws to stop kids
Okay.
from getting addicted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I took Wellbutrin for years for depression, never made me not want to smoke. Wellbutrin can really mess people up. Chantix has more side effects, I think, Tampa B man. Yeah. Yeah. Zyban is the one that is the same thing as Wellbutrin, bupropion. Okay, just a different brand name. Okay.
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 Gotcha.
Okay. Wow, you know what? My dad had esophageal cancer back in well, he probably had it for a long time before he went in for surgery in 1996 and died of complications from the surgery. But
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry. Recently came back in his bladder.
Oh, I'm so sorry
Oh,
for the
Miss
sunrise.
Maison, I'm so sorry. Oh,
Hmm.
oh,
There was orange flavored cigarettes. That
ew.
sounds horrible. I can't
Yeah.
even handle the mint flavored, okay?
Where am I in the chat?
Yeah, I will try and help you here. I might have jumped ahead a few comments.
Well, I thought I highlight here we go. Oh, I'm way far behind. I have lost 2 friends from lighting up while on oxygen. Oh my God, Misha.
Oh my word.
Oh my God, that's scary.
That is really scary.
I still use Juul pods, but I don't inhale deeply, Zelda. We didn't even get a friend of mine. We didn't even get tired. It wasn't even 6 years ago. Now I can hardly walk back to my yard. Awakened A friend of mine knew a lady whose face was severely burned for that same reason. That
Oh
is
my goodness.
so scary. I mean, those trucks don't have those flammable warnings for nothing. Woo!
That's right. It's compressed gas. It's terrifying. Terrifying.
And let's see here. Kristen. Back in the day, I smoked these cigarettes called Sweet Dreams that were flavored like cherry or vanilla. They were banned. Okay.
Okay, now the vanilla doesn't sound so bad. But this is why they're taking flavors away, because
Yeah.
it just keeps us addicted to it longer. We just want to go for that, we're not tasting the horribleness, we're tasting whatever they're injecting into it.
Yeah. Which is probably terrible for your lungs and
It's
and
probably
your
some extra chemicals, that's for
bloodstream
sure.
and yeah, and your bloodstream, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All flavors are illegal in most states in the US.
Okay, so it's not just Canada. Okay.
Okay. Every flavor under the sun here in Florida.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah, Florida. Well, there's
That's
Florida
Florida.
for you.
I'm a Canadian and I just end up going, yep, well, it's Florida. That's all I know about what I know about the US. It's Florida.
Sometimes I wish they could take away cigs here. I live in the middle of tribal land, smoke shops on every corner. Still prices go up. I can't make enough dollars for food, but, says Misha.
Yeah.
I remember my ex's dad had a vape liquid flavored like bacon once.
Ew.
That's weird. That is weird, Kristen.
I was addicted to the coffee flavored ones at first when I first switched to vaping. Anything that tasted like coffee or anything that tasted like a latte or chocolate, I was all over it. All over it.
Miss Sunrise. Thanks, y'all. He seems to be doing really well. I'm so glad to hear that. He had his second procedure on Thursday. On Friday, he was working at the church, and today he's been cleaning out the garage.
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Yes, I love the orange flavored camels. Both of them had asked me for one when I would visit, so I stopped visiting them. I couldn't tell them without feeling like poop, but I wouldn't add to either. I was such a hypocrite. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Mister, you're always too hard on yourself.
You always don't need to be hard on yourself.
It's easy to say and hard to do, don't I know it?
100%.
Don't I know it?
When I was a child, we went hunting, and one morning there was an explosion. A man woke up and lit up, not realizing his gas had leaked all night.
Oh,
Ooh, Kim.
oh my goodness.
Scary. Boy, they really pushed this cigarette addiction on us. They sure did, Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good happens with your health if you smoke. Yeah, we know that, and still we do it.
Yeah. And honestly, my chest hurt a lot while I was vaping.
Yeah.
And then I switched back to cigarettes, and I know I shouldn't be, I'm not glorifying this at all, but I switched back to cigarettes and my chest doesn't hurt. So I'm very curious about these vape things.
Yeah. Yeah. Mom tries to slow dad down. But after 53 years, she knows she's not going to have any luck. 53 years. Isn't that amazing?
My friend and I saw a couple walking through the mall today, and it was an older couple, and they had to look like they were late 60s, early 70s, holding hands. We're like, oh, look at this. It's adorable.
It is adorable.
Yes.
Tampa B man. I smoked the cloves. Let's see. I smoked cloves, therefore I wasn't a cigarette smoker, right? I've heard that rationale. I got into cloves very briefly.
So cloves instead of nicotine?
I don't know if
Is that the intent?
I don't know if there may be nicotine in cloves. I don't know. I didn't do it long enough to know or care much about what they were.
Fair.
I'm too good on myself. Like I said, extremes. If I could just learn somehow, yeah. Why I start by saying, "Hi, my name is Misha, and I am."
Sigh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can get addicted to anything that
Yeah.
gets dopamine zinging, even if you're not physically dependent. I think so too, Kristen. Definitely nicotine in cloves. Okay. Got to be 21. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Tampa
Yeah.
Bay man, whatever makes you feel better. Yeah. My
Oh,
parents
wow.
were 18 and 19 when they got married. I reminded mom of that when she told my daughter she was too young to get serious about a guy. Yeah.
My daughter used that on me. She was just like, I'm like, 13. Are you sure that that's okay for like your first boyfriend? She goes, Mom, how old were you? I'm like, thanks. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is what happens when I'm too honest with my kid.
Tampa Bay man, harm reduction, as Tommy likes to
Exactly.
say. Yeah.
I'd like to take a look into I think it's called fume. It's just flavored air
Okay.
through a unit. And I'm thinking about that
Okay.
to quit smoking.
Okay.
We'll see, because I think it's more the motion and the habit and the wanting of some sort of flavor for myself. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'll try it. We'll see what happens. I
Right
don't
on.
care. I'll try like 16 different things if I have
And
to.
do they do it? Does the air have some kind of nicotine?
No. No.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
just essentially flavored air, but I've heard a lot of people say that they've had a lot of success on it,
Okay.
but it's also people that I know work with the harm reduction communities, and it's just like, okay, are we selling something? And this is my skepticalness coming in. Are we selling something, or does it really work? So like I said, I'll try 16 different things if I have to.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me, because my
Right.
goal is to quit. Just how? Yeah, I'll figure that out eventually.
Awakened you can. You know, they warned me when I was in rehab in 1994 not to quit everything at once. But my whole thing was, okay, I'm not drinking. I have ripped my body and my mind to shreds
Mm-hmm.
with a combination of drinking and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already miserable, so I'm just going to do this. And what I did is I made a plan. And for the week of Lent, the first day I allowed myself 5 cigarettes. I bought myself a pack of cigarettes,
Okay.
and with the rare bits of money that I got. And so I did 5 on Monday, 4, 3, 2, and then,
All the way down.
on Good Friday, smoked my last one and had a funeral service for that pack of cigarettes in a local
Cute.
park. Sang a song and everything. Just treated it like it was literally like losing a best friend.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it's going to feel for me. That's for sure.
Yeah,
It's something that
because it
I've
really was. It really was like that, you know?
yeah,
And
I've had breaks from nicotine, but I started nicotine at 13.
yeah, yeah. I started at maybe, I think, age 9.
Okay. Okay.
Kids in the country, you
It's
can
different.
sneak a cigarette out of your dad's pack and go anywhere and smoke it out in the country.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when your parents are
You know,
smoking, they can't really smell it when you come walking back, you know?
that's because they smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
We weren't sophisticated to realize that. when we were kids.
No.
But that we just thought we were just so smart getting away with it.
Of course. Of course. Oh my goodness. No,
Tampa Bay, man, you figure it out eventually. That puts it into perspective.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever works. A couple of weeks later, when Kurt Cobain died,
Oh wow.
I was talking to somebody on the balcony, on the smoker's balcony about it. We were talking about it, and I think she wanted to go out on the balcony and smoke, and I asked her for a cigarette, and I took a drag of that thing, and the first thing I did was regret that but I didn't want to be rude.
You continued it.
So I smoked the whole damn thing, and it was miserable.
Yeah.
And I never smoked again. So I haven't smoked since the day it was announced that Kurt Cobain died.
Oh wow. Well, that's a day to say that I quit. That was my last cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. And what are we saying here? Misha, Carol, that is a good way to look at it. Besides, when I was locked up, cigs are the one constant in my life since I was 16. Even then, I learned to make cigs out of greens. Wow.
Yeah.
I was such a heavy smoker, and I could not afford packs of cigarettes that for a long time I rolled my own with drum and bugler, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Krista Melinda, or Kim, sorry. Did you know that even if you give up smoking, you can get nicotine from some vegetables?
Good to know.
I did not, Kim. I
If I'm
did
not
not.
mistaken, our brain actually produces a little bit of nicotine naturally, but once you start smoking, now you are overwhelming the brain with nicotine, and it takes a little bit for that
Yeah.
receptor to start going again.
Okay.
So a little bit of nicotine, like a little bit of cortisol, we naturally have within our bodies. It's the excess that's the issue.
Yeah. Right. Which, it's an addictive substance. There's going to be excess with addiction.
And the cigarettes that we buy, like, it has got so many chemicals in it, and a lot of the
Yeah.
addictive factors are those chemicals.
Chemicals. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awakened. Let's see. Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Feel like we've had a meeting?
I feel like we've had a meeting. How are you
I
feeling?
feel like we've had a meeting. I'm feeling good.
Good.
I'm feeling good, other than, waking up sore from running.
Right? Right?
I hurt my ankle a little bit running in house shoes and running in my rubber boots.
Oh no. Potatoes,
Yeah.
eggplant, cauliflower, just to name a few of those nicotine vegetables.
Oh. Eating them, or are we talking them?
Eating them, I would have to
smoking them?
assume. Eating them, I would have to assume.
Okay.
Yes.
Right on.
It's okay, so eat lots of eggplant. I like eggplant. I like baba ganoush. I'll eat a lot of baba ganoush.
I love it too, Kristen. It is good. I love coming here and chatting with you guys.
Oh, I love it
I feel
too.
like I am in pre-anxiety stage. Feel like I'm
Okay.
in pre-anxiety stage the whole time between cigs. It'll take a lot, but at least I'm thinking about it again today. Good. We're here for you.
Yeah. Baba ganoush.
Yeah, they are.
Baba ganoush what? It's an eggplant to Middle Eastern eggplant dip. I worked in a Middle Eastern restaurant, so I learned all of the little dips.
I knew
and
I'd
stuff.
heard of that somewhere.
Yeah. So baba ganoush, hummus, and tzatziki are the three typical Middle Eastern Greek dips.
Yeah. Yeah, I love me some hummus.
Do you guys make your own hummus?
We have.
I have a really good recipe if anybody wants it. It
I would
is
love
my
that
favorite. Yeah?
because we've never made it as good as some of the ones that you can buy.
Do you put tahini in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get the recipe for you, but I find that like food processing it longer than any recipe says, it helps. Make
Okay.
sure you refrigerate it for 24 hours and then it tastes like the one that you get.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you need to, it's delicious to eat right out of the container. I get it, but you need to wait the 24 hours.
You know, this is the cruelest thing ever. Kristen Melinda says nicotine leaves our bodies super fast, so it's like being in a constant state of withdrawal. That is just cruel.
Oh.
That is cruelty. Whoa.
I never looked at it that way. I never understood that, even, to be honest. So thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
It kind of helps me. I can't remember. I think I heard it on the lifeboat and it's saying, I'm just going to wait 10 more minutes. I'm just going to wait 10 more minutes.
Okay.
And that's been helping me.
Okay.
So I'll just, okay, no, I'm going to crochet for 10 more minutes, or I'm going to do whatever I'm doing for 10 more minutes and then see if I want a cigarette at the end of that. If I don't think about it, which is 90% of the time,
Yeah.
then I just don't go out for one for like another hour. So
it does make sense, Miss Sunrise Dawn. And at least my smoking of smoking is getting better being hungry.
oh my
Wow.
goodness, Mr. Tampa Bay man. Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Oh. I was too far back and I was reading messages. Sorry. I might need glasses eventually here.
And Misha says that is the best help I have found right there, Stasia. Cool.
I'm happy to help, and I forgot what it was.
I'm thinking it's a 10-minute thing, right? Am I right?
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to wait 10 minutes and then just distract myself with whatever it is that I'm doing. And half the time I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out for a cigarette before this phone call. It's like, nope, I'm going to go out for a cigarette after I get this phone call.
One goes with the other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, why did we come with these bodies that just seem to crave all the things that are bad for us, including
Yeah.
food? Eating
Right.
healthy is one of the harder things to do. Have you ever noticed that?
I still can't quite eat healthy. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I
Mhm.
don't want the healthy thing. I want the sugary thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat the salad, thank you, unless the salad has like an amazing salad dressing on it, and then the calories go up 10,000 calories, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was brought up with a lot of white rices and white flours for like roti, making flatbread. So carbs have been like a huge part of like even my childhood diet. And I realize now as an adult how bad they are. Not right?
No, you need some. Your body needs some carbs to be able
Yes,
to
but
have some energy.
yes, but every meal, you know what I mean? Like that's what I have to start looking out for, because it was always like a big serving of rice or 2 or 3 pieces of roti with a little bit of curry. So you're having more starch than you're actually having the good stuff.
Balance of carbs. There's a balance to strike with carbs and protein.
Probably.
You know, you need the whole rounded out thing, I should think. I'm no doctor or dietitian or any of that. But just thinking out loud.
No, and I don't ever want to get rid of carbs, but as soon as I take carbs out of my diet, I feel like my body feels better every single time.
Really?
Every single time. Everything hurts less. Like, and this, well, now, you know, with cortisol levels going down, it's way better. But like inflammation, even, because I have sciatica in my left hip, and I find when I take carbs out of my diet, the inflammation in my hip goes down.
Interesting. I'm busy thinking about what I want to eat instead of where's my vape, Tampa Bay man.
Good.
Food used to scarce, so getting sugar and fat was really important. Oh, I had not thought of that.
Interesting.
Basically talking about every possible anxiety on this channel. Lovely.
Yes.
Not every day, but, you know, it is Sober Saturday. I try to stay within a theme, but it doesn't, you know, we get here and we do what we do, and
Yeah, we
it goes
start
where it
talking about
goes,
everything.
pretty much. The other day we were talking about true crime and Scott Peterson being innocent.
Yeah. I love the cough right before that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah. Oh, I should actually try and touch base with Jen as well now that I think about it.
I was talking to someone earlier about wishing eating healthy were cheaper. Yes, I miss good food. Makes me so angry how they are raising prices like they have been. A dozen eggs should not cost $6.
$6. No, that's
No,
insane.
it should.
That's insane.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah. Well, let's see, y'all. Well, 2 if you're still needing a meeting, and 3 if you feel like you've had one. Think of it as 2 if you still need to dump something, and 3 as
Every
part
time
of
you say it, it gets me.
3 as part of a heart, you know, I'm good kind of thing.
Every time you say it, it gets me. But this is how I'm going to remember it, because that one day I had a hard time remembering what does a 2 do and what does a 3 do again. But now forever I'm going to remember that.
Miss Sunrise Dawn, I would love to have you pop in anytime.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on. You are welcome anytime.
You're welcome.
I usually post the link at the beginning of the chat, but if we're into it and you can't go that far back, just give a holler at me to post the link and I'll post it and you can come on in anytime.
And then we can chat.
Then we can chat. That's right. That's what this is about. I love getting to know people. You know, I get to know you guys in the chat, but it's so fun too, like seeing faces and hearing voices, and yeah,
Mhm.
I love it.
And personally, it's like on a selfish personal note, it's a way of me seeing progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
I can tell where I was, you know, and where I am now. And I find that really helpful. Really,
Right
really
on.
helpful.
Right on. I'm better
So just an
too,
idea.
and I know that the what has helped me with the spending thing, because it was a real bad problem, is these meetings.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
even though we're not always talking about addiction, you know, just the connection, like Tommy says, the opposite of addiction is connection. It
Precisely.
seems to be true. I'm finding it
Precisely.
to be the truth. So there you go. I just try hard not to put my daughter's face on YouTube. Yeah. But there
Wee
was
Man
one
wears a
time
mask when he's here if he comes on. So that's something that you can think about, my dear. Is I have for him, it's a Miles Morales mask, but maybe if you find like a little unicorn mask or something for a little girl, you know, at least then she's covered up. So that's what I
if she
do for
wakes
my Wee
up
Man.
and comes in the room, she's not going to think to put on a mask.
That's true.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
true.
so much sense. Sunrise Dawn. You don't have to show, you know, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
You don't have to activate the camera when you're clicking on that link before you come in. There's a camera icon, and if there's a slash through it, that means that your face won't be seen. People do that too here.
Hold on.
It's not unusual.
I've lost my face. This is what you can do, my dear.
Yeah, there's a little camera and a microphone icon right underneath the screen where our pictures are.
Yeah. And if need be, if you want to try and figure it out beforehand, we can always touch base beforehand so that you don't feel like you're struggling with it later.
Wee Man is our masked hero, and Miss Sunrise Dawn says she'll never leave it on. She's 4.
Yeah.
She's 4.
Yeah. I don't know. Wee Man's always loved dressing up. He's always
Yeah.
loved it. So he's always, he was what? When COVID happened, he was 2.
Okay.
So to
Ooh.
him, a mask is normal. He's still like, he
Right.
still would rather wear a cloth mask around. Like to him, it's almost a comfort thing now. And I'm like, I really hate how this happened. I really hate it. Because at school too, once he started kindergarten, half of the
Yeah.
year was homeschooled, but through a computer.
Yeah.
So that he was doing like Zoom or Microsoft Meeting or whatever classes. But the other half of the year, is the donkey doing something?
Well, the guinea was doing something, and I was just making sure that it wasn't my little frostbitten chicken that
Okay.
it was after.
Okay.
It
But
doesn't
then,
look like it was.
oh,
Sorry.
good. No, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure Jet wasn't being an ass.
No, it was this time.
Yeah, so for Rowan, even when he was in school, it was a mask all the time. All the time. So to him,
Okay.
it's a comfort thing, and I really don't like that.
I know it.
I really don't like it.
Do the teachers have trouble with it?
He just doesn't carry one to school anymore, and that's something that I made
Okay.
sure he stopped doing when we got to Quebec, because in Ontario, like when we left Ontario, it had been about 6 months before they even needed. So sorry, since they needed to have a mask in their backpack in case they were coughing or something. Because like as soon as the kids would start coughing, the teacher would be like, "Go get your mask," because of COVID.
So now they really can't really say a whole lot, huh?
No, you don't need them anymore. It's your choice if you do it, and I want him to get the antibodies.
You're not talking about his Spider-Man mask.
No, I mean like well, you remember when he was coming on with the Spider-Man mask and the COVID mask for a while?
Yeah.
That was his comfort thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a bunch, like it was like a fashion accessory to him. There had to have been like 15 different masks.
Yeah. Kristen's little one was almost a year old when COVID started. He never cooperated with a mask ever.
Ever. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Completely. Yeah, Tampa B man. Completely different generation of kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've got some splaining to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We've not done our young people much in the way of goodness with all that we did. You know, I mean, could it be helped? I don't know. But nonetheless, here we are.
I think if we weren't so terrified as a globe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We weren't so terrified.
And that fear was very isolating. We were in isolation, and we were isolated in our own fear. You know?
Yeah. We need the pole dancing chicken. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest was in her senior year of high school when COVID hit. I felt so sorry for that first year, the class of 2020 not being able to have a graduation ceremony. That's a big rite of passage they were denied.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she was cheated out of a lot. I agree, Miss Sunrise Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah, with the whole school year and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of senior milestones not getting to be realized.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so sad.
On a personal level, I had just graduated in 2019 for my electrical engineering technician diploma. I had quit a job due to jealousy of my partner because it was a man-dominated job in which I was in, which electrical is a man-dominated field. And I wanted to get
Mhm.
into a factory where I could be behind a computer a little bit more because one thing
Mhm.
that I really want to do is work on PLCs, which are programmable logic controllers. And these are tiny little computers that run the whole factory. So I
Okay.
wanted to be able to sit behind a desk and be programming these PLCs, but then COVID happened and trying to find a job while COVID was next to impossible. Next
Yeah.
to impossible.
Oh, wow. That's the one I wanted to highlight. Miss
Makes sense.
Sunrise Dawn had some friends die of COVID,
Oh my.
and one close he's more like family. They came very, very close.
Oh my
Sorry.
goodness. I'm so sorry. That's
Mm,
terrifying.
Tampa B man. Dawn, one of mine, one of mine, two, the other girl lost funding for her master's PhD in a new place in life and extremely happy now.
Good.
Super
That's
tough.
super tough.
I'm glad. Yeah, but one of mine too. Oh, I'm sorry, Tampa B man.
Mm.
We had a neighbor just up the road that died of COVID,
Oh,
and she's my next door neighbor's cousin.
I would have to assume
Yeah,
that the area that you're in, a lot of it is family passed down property. Farms that have been in the family for generations, right?
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, her one of her kids is living there now.
Mhm.
Thank you, Misha. My friend that survived was only given a 10% chance of survival, and he made it. We were so very thankful.
He's a fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bradley had to go through so much of his treatment by himself due to COVID. I hated it. Yeah. A lot of people had to that you had to be alone of, being sick with COVID or anything that you had to be be hospitalized for.
I feel very sad
It
for
was
the mothers
it
who
was
had
so
babies during COVID.
it was terrible,
Yeah.
terrible.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if we'll know the cost.
oh, I think we know the
This
cost, but I
this
don't think anybody's ever going to own up to it.
but I mean, just the whole cost to our society.
Mhm.
We probably won't get much insight into that until after a lot of us are no longer here. I don't know. Maybe we will, but I don't know how you'd study that.
Yeah, that would be more of like oh, I can't find the word right now. Not like personality, but like a societal study at that point. What was this like, 6 months before? What was it like 6 months after? What are we looking at 2 years later? Yeah.
Right. That is beautiful. When someone beats chances like that, tell them that there are some chicks in a meeting you were at who send love and are so happy for him. Yeah,
Yes.
please do. We're talking of C19.
Yeah. And just how it can possibly affect society and how it affected us personally, family, friends.
Yeah, devastating.
Yeah.
I was texting with his sister. We all grew up together every single day. We cried together at first and celebrated together. I was also her first phone call when their dad died in '09.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Oh,
that's
wow.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have research from some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost at the top of 2 hours, y'all, and the sun is going down.
This is what happens when the days stay a little bit longer. Carol doesn't have to go to the barn
Yeah.
so early.
Oh, hello. My Kim, my other keeper. Hope you don't mind if I call you Kim. I had it 5 times and 5 times, and once I had to go for treatment for breathing.
Oh,
Ouch.
wow.
Ooh.
It feels like I've had it 3 times, and it feels like the 3 times I've had it, it's gotten progressively worse each time. Like every time
Wow.
it's just been a little bit worse, a little bit worse. So like now I'm a little bit more scared of getting it because of how the last one was.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to get vaccinated for it anymore because this is another flu shot. If you're going to keep modifying it,
Yeah.
to me, it's just like another flu shot.
Yeah. Tampa B man, it kicked my ass twice.
I like how you put that in there.
I like it too. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of isolated on this windy mountain here. So, and I don't get out. Ever since COVID, I don't get out much. I just don't.
Is that
I was
because?
kind of already heading that way in my life.
Okay.
It's just too easy to isolate,
Mhm.
That's why another thing I appreciate about these meetings is that, it forces me to, if I'm starting to want to cocoon, as I call it, it forces me to
Pull out of it a little bit.
actually interact. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had it twice. Wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. 3 levies. Yeah. I got it. And I'm the one that never leaves the house. Oh, Tampa B. That's
Of
just
course.
wrong. That just is wrong.
Oh,
Mm,
no.
mm. So it does make you wonder. That things like that, when I hear that, just make me wonder
Right?
what the actual real deal is with it. And will we ever know? I would like to know.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will.
Every time I've had it, my daughter and husband both also had it. Makes it harder when the whole household is sick. Yeah, because who takes care of whom?
Yeah. And it's not like you can ask somebody to come and help you because it's,
Yeah.
nobody else wants to get it and you
Yeah.
don't want to give it to somebody else, right?
No. Yeah.
So,
Love you too, Misha. I
yes,
get vaccinated and I get my son vaccinated. I have immune system issues and he has chronic respiratory inflammation.
yeah,
We've both had it and just felt a bit like a cold. Well, that's
that's
good.
good.
But there have also been the people who were vaccinated and had all the boosters and got really, really sick and even died. So it's interesting how it affects so many different people so differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The
It's
first
a
time I got
tricky
it, I
little
had
bug.
just had the vaccination and it was one of the worst things that I had ever experienced until the third time. Then the third time I was in bed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What do we got here? It's starting to lag on me. My hubby and I rarely leave the house either, especially him, but my daughter goes to school. Does
And
go to
schools
school.
are germ, places, or they're like little
It's
incubators for
ridiculous.
germs.
Yeah. Never understood until very recently that my sister had good friends in a world away on the internet. I'm so thankful for all of you. Well, I'm thankful for
Aw.
you. Yeah. And yes, Kim is fine. Thank you. And with Dad's health so fragile, I didn't dare go anywhere near them or my sister. And normally my mom is the one that helps me, and she couldn't be around us.
No.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. It's hard.
It's the isolation is as devastating as the disease.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree with that statement, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Some of my best friends are on the internet, and I've never been able to meet in person yet. Right?
Same.
Right?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
actually had mentioned that last night when I was out, and they're like, "You have best friends you've never met?" And I'm like, "Well, this is like meeting, on the internet,
Mhm.
doing the streaming thing. Like this is meeting, in my opinion. If you
It
would have
is.
said this to me like 6 months ago, I don't know if I would have believed it. But situations come about where you find people when you need them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, for real though, I think my hubby left me. Not left me, but He
He's
went to go take
around.
he went to go take the trash to town. We stopped
Oh,
using our little private trash company because we weren't great about always having something out there, and so they got used to driving by, and we'd put our little can out there and they'd drive by and leave it in there. So we just got rid of that and just decided to take our trash to town to family's
how
houses.
far is it from your place to town?
30 minutes.
All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what he's doing. And so so I get water and feeding all of the whole barn by myself tonight.
Well, and we probably shouldn't keep you too much longer.
I know so many people whose drinking got bad during lockdowns. Yeah, Kristen, this
Mhm.
is just as good as going for coffee, but with a distance. Yeah, next best thing for sure. Mom and Dad each had it twice. Both just happened to be when they were on vacation in Florida. I told them they're never allowed to go on vacation again. We
Not
are
to
all
Florida.
still here, Henny. We are. We've been trying to say goodbye for what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, we have tried a few times and then we just kind of got caught back up into it again. But I do, seeing as you've got all of the watering and feeding for yourself tonight, we should probably not keep you too much longer.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh,
I finished my coffee too. Like I finished a whole big coffee. That was entertaining.
my other super two is I need a meeting. Are you still needing a meeting? Because I can I don't know what I can do.
You can reach out to me.
Yeah,
You can reach out to me if you need me. And I know that we have each other on Facebook, my dear.
perhaps I can, Henny. I like to not have anybody in the house when I dance.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of got shocked the other day. No, it was just before Rowan's, not the other day. So like last week, I had my headphones on and I didn't notice that I was singing so loudly and somebody was knocking on my door trying to get my attention.
Because you were and tell you that you were loud.
No, they were just trying to give me
Oh,
information. And they're like, you
oh,
sounded great. That was amazing. But we've been standing here for 5 minutes trying to get your attention.
thank you for that clarification, Kim. My cats are complaining that I'm not paying attention to them. Yeah, they'll do that.
Yes. Yes. All right. I'm going to
All
say good
right.
night, guys. And that way I can let you finish up here, Carol. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody, for coming. And I love you, Carol.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
It's
Love you
always fun.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Night. I have enjoyed this meeting immensely. So much. You guys are awesome. Always. Just absolutely always. Thank you for being here. And thank you for creating this wonderful community that we have. And I hope to see you again in next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.